How's it going, guys? I am Connor from Running Warehouse, and today we are going to be reviewing the new Nike Zoom Pegasus 38. You heard that right. We are on version 38 of a true daily training classic, and we're going to see some small changes in this shoe, but it is going to retain a lot of those same philosophies we've seen, especially in that last version, just small tweaks to further enhance on-foot fit and comfort. Now, taking a closer look into the midsole, again, we have the same design as the last version, full-length React cushioning, and now that's going to create a very responsive ride, and it has just enough cushioning for pretty much any day of the week. It's not quite as high as stack height as some of the other shoes in the category. It's going to be just a little bit lower, and I feel like that gives it a little bit of a faster feel, but again, plenty of cushioning to pick up the miles and do those long runs, do those slower efforts. This shoe really does perform at a wide variety of speeds and distances. Now, that React foam is going to work with the Air unit, and right when I get this shoe on my foot, I can feel the Air unit. Some other Nike shoes, I don't quite feel the Air unit underfoot, but in this shoe, it feels very responsive. You get a soft compression and then a nice pop at toe off. Again, I'm really liking the Air unit in the shoe. Very similar to the last version, and that's a good thing because the Pegasus 37 had an amazing underfoot experience. It was a huge upgrade from previous versions of the Pegasus, so it didn't really need huge changes. I also want to talk a little bit about the ride of the shoe. Again, with the same tooling as the 37, you get that same smooth experience, and I think I personally preferred it a little bit more for slightly faster speeds, a little bit more steady efforts, but again, it does perform well at slow efforts, at those recovery days. I think this is going to be a shoe that both competitive runners and just new kind of more beginner runners are going to come to because it is such a versatile shoe. Now, while the midsole is definitely one of my favorite parts of this shoe, I also want to talk about the outsole and some of the traction. Now, traction isn't something I normally think about with road shoes, but the Pegasus actually stood out. It's very grippy, especially just right out of the box. I could feel that grip as I was going around turns on the road, and you have these small lugs. This is a little bit grippier than some of the other shoes in the category, and I felt like this was great on the roads, but it even helped a little bit on light trails. A lot of times I go from roads to light trails, back to roads, and I felt like the grip was phenomenal. As far as durability goes, I'm not seeing any huge concerns. I'm about 50 miles in. There's a little bit of wear, and you know, the last version I got about 300 miles, and I felt like the cushioning went a little bit before the outsole, so I think I'm gonna see about similar with the same tooling in this version. Finishing this shoe off, we've got to talk about the upper, and this really is going to be the only change with this shoe, and I think that was really one of the only complaints that I heard from the past version. A lot of people thought the toe box was just a little too shallow, and there was just in general some minor fit issues, and Nike has completely addressed that with version 38, and the on-foot experience is just so much more comfortable. We now have a new double layer mesh, and it is going to be a little bit thicker, a little bit warmer, and I think on maybe some of those hotter days you might notice that, but again, I don't think it was too big of a difference, and it does feel a little bit more plush on foot. We also got to talk about the fit. I think the forefoot has been just broadened out a little bit. There's just not quite as shallow, and I think it is going to alleviate a lot of those toe box issues that people had with the last version. On the tongue is going to be a little bit more plush, and that helps with that initial step-in feel. The shoe just feels fantastic right when you get it on foot. And then in the heel, fairly similar to the last version. There's a little bit of support. You can't really push in on it, so I think it's going to offer just kind of what you'd expect from a Pegasus, a reliable daily trainer. Overall, those were my thoughts on the new Nike Pegasus 38. Not huge changes with this version, but I think that's a good thing. The 37 was such a huge upgrade that I think these fit changes are going to make a huge difference, and people are going to continue to love this shoe. What am I going to use it for? I think daily training. This is a daily training workhorse, and I'm going to continue to use it mostly for that. I think the ride, the responsiveness feels really good, so I will use it to pick up the pace, use it on some steady efforts, maybe some tempo runs. And I think with Nike getting rid of the Pegasus Turbo, I think this shoe is going to start bridging the gap kind of in that faster daily trainer space. I still think there is room to improve, and potentially we may see Zoom X on this shoe down the road, but for now it is going to continue to be just that shoe that can do it all. So those were just my thoughts. Now we're going to head on over to RW Europe and see what Luca has to say about the Pegasus 38.
Thanks, Connor. I really like and enjoy running with this Pegasus 38 in the last weeks, and I would definitely pick this shoe to become one of the shoes that I have in my shoe rotation. This is a bit more for my lazy run, and now I would explain to you why. First of all, this shoe for me has two main qualities. Of course, the soft landing and the bouncy responsiveness for me are really important. and I really felt the air zoom unit that this shoe is using at the front foot, and also the fact that it has this foam, React foam on the back foot. It makes your run really soft, but at the same time really responsive. Second thing is that the mesh is really hugging your foot. So once that you lace the shoe, you feel really the foot one-on-one with this shoe, and I felt super good. Something that bothers me a bit was the fact that this mesh maybe is a bit too heavy, and in the summer season when the temperature goes hot, maybe it's a bit heavy. But I run now, here in Germany the weather is not the best, so I really felt and enjoy running with this shoe. I would definitely recommend this shoe for every kind of runner want to run from 5 to 5:30 minutes per kilometer. Either if you want to run a bit faster, this is fine, but you need really to like this soft landing shoe.
All right, so those were our thoughts on the new Nike Pegasus 38. If you're looking to get a pair of your own, it's available now here at Running Warehouse.